I am back, y'all. So today's video, this time, is actually going to be about your niche or your niche or what you are talking about on YouTube. There's about 30 niches or however you like to call them, that is pretty much defined by YouTube itself. Now, there are people who will take them 30 and stretch it out to over probably 100 or so and make it seem like that's what it is. But really, they're all are just categorized in those 30. Now, I kind of wrote those down so that way I don't lose track or forget. Okay, so we have the digital marketing, the ASMR, and similar content such as that, fashion, and try on or on haul, or like fashion where people be trying on clothing and stuff like that. Beauty and makeup, that's another side of fashion, but they did separate that for some reason. Motivational and spiritual speakers or content, cooking recipes and tutorials, travel and adventure, fitness and bodybuilding, gaming, and esports. I think they grouped that together, esports and gaming. Health and fitness, which health and fitness really could kind of go with fitness and bodybuilding. So even now when it comes to the 30, some of these topics probably could have been squeezed in together, right? Tech and review, DUI. Y'all bet I be having no sexual here where y'all drinking and driving or under the influence or something. No, DIY for home improvement. Educational content, online courses, pet care and training, video logging or blogging, music videos, life hack, comedy, real estate. And then, of course, there's the finance side, the tech side, the financial and investing, educational videos. And basically all of it is wrapped up into social media marketing. So you will hear a lot of people talk about what niche you are in and sort of stick to that one niche or one niche. But really, you can kind of intertwine these things together, find out what you like, and then still talk about, long as you keep it, I guess, in the same arena or retrospect as to what your channel is. Like with my channel, I dabble in a lot of different things, as far as, because it's a life channel. It's for me. It's like, so I guess with me, it will probably fall into the motivational and spiritual, and maybe somewhat like a vlog channel, with me talking, or talking head channel, as they like to say. But also in doing so, like, I still like budgeting. I still like transportation and stuff like that. So I still will talk about those things. It's just now with me trying to grow my YouTube channel, YouTube is a topic that I do talk about quite often, because really I'm learning the business of YouTube, because regardless of what my business is, in doing this, I open myself up to having to know the business of YouTube, and any of us that get on here opens ourselves up to that. So when people are telling you to stick to a niche, you know, like I said, some of these niches can kind of intertwine, but in my opinion, yeah, you need to have like a certain arena, so to speak, of what you're categorized in. But what you're gonna find is, like, you're not really gonna be able to talk a lot about at first about what you like. You got to kind of look at what is hot and what is popping on your channel. Like, I do a lot of analyzing, and even with myself, I'm not just looking at other people, I'm looking at me as well, because I'm trying to allow people to grow with me as my channel grow. Now, I've been around, my YouTube channel, like I said before, has been around for quite some time. But far as making videos, I have not made a video before 2020. Okay, that I haven't, 2020 was when I first, like I said before, did like one video or two videos or something like that. 2021, I probably did like 6 or 7 or 8 or something like that. 2021, 2022, I picked up a little bit more, but it wasn't until 2024 this year that I actually started really putting videos out there and talking to the people and talking about different various things that I've kind of found myself engulfed in. But in doing so, you got to see what is working and popping for your channel, okay? We're not going to all talk about the same things, and you shouldn't try to make yourself or your likeness like somebody either. No, make it about you. Make it who you are. What I'm showing y'all on these videos, this is Tamara, and anybody that knows me will tell you, yeah, that's her. And if we was having like a face-to-face and we was talking, I'd be throwing a little bit of jokes in there because I'm real goofy as crap. Like, and some of these videos on here, baby, everybody cracking my side. Like, sometimes I want to say something, but I can't, because if I get on side this video, all I'm gonna be doing is laughing, and y'all gonna be like, this girl just got on here to laugh. So I gotta kind of contain myself a little bit when it comes to stuff like that, because YouTube really be, man, this platform, boy, like I said, the internet never fails. They be, ooh, child, them comments is where it's at. You want to find your community, get in them comments and talk to people, not just on your platform, but on other people's platform as well, and engage. A lot of my subscribers probably come from me talking to other people on other platforms, and then we kind of like link up or meet up or whatever, and then they'll come over and they'll look at mine, or I'll go over there and look at theirs, and that's kind of how I'll, will connect or subscribe, because I'm like this when it comes to subscription, y'all. I believe that if you're going to give a person your time and your energy to sit there and watch, and definitely if you're going to comment, then subscribe. Even if it's something that you might, unless it's real extreme and you don't agree with it because they're just outright just doing stuff wrong to people, then don't subscribe to it. I'm not saying that. But if it's something that you're going to engage in and talk to other people, then why not give a subscription to someone? Because that's the very least anybody could do. I keep saying this, is subscribe. And what I'm starting to notice here, even when people who be talking and have a lot of people on their platform, they be trying to belittle people that don't have a lot of subscribers to their platforms, or don't have a lot of views on their platform or whatever. That don't discredit what those people are saying. They could have some very valuable information. In fact, what I've also found is a lot of YouTubers will steal from smaller content creators on stuff that they're talking, because they don't have that platform, and they're talking about some really good stuff, and they're gonna take it and try to switch it up and use it for themselves. I have seen that. But if you're going to do something like that, if you're going to use what someone else said that did not come from you, give that person recognition so that people can go out there and see and hear from them as well. Why you scared of it? Why you don't want to give acknowledgement to it? I be hearing a lot of people be hollering, oh, I can't remember what that person's name was or whatever. Okay, so after your video, then go research and find out what it was so you can give them a shout out. One thing you're going to notice about T is if I use something or you made me think of something, I'm going to acknowledge you. I don't care if you're small or you're big. I'm going to do that because I do believe in promoting and helping one another. But what tends to happen with these larger platforms is sometimes they forget who got them to reach that platform. And I have heard a lot of people say that are a larger platform, well, I'm not gonna watch you, I'm not watching them, or I'm not gonna address them or whatever. Because look at them. They ain't got that many people. They ain't got that many views. So what? I mean, at one point you didn't either, and it took people commenting on your stuff and gathering on your platform too that actually got you there. Don't get so let this go to your head so big that you forgot about who actually brought you there, right? Your core people that actually got you where you're at. And that's something that I noticed throughout a lot of larger platforms, even down with their community. It's so bad where the community even say, well, they ain't gonna say nothing to you. What you saying something to them for? What? Like, are y'all serious? Like, really, are you? Okay, why are you saying something to me? Because one thing about me as well, if you're going to address something, especially if you're going to do it in a negative way, and I know, now if you do it in a negative way and you're right, I'm going to agree with you. Oh, you know what? I didn't think about that. You're right. Okay? But if you address me in a negative way and I know you're wrong, you going to get got back at, okay? Don't get it twisted. I love the Lord, right? But the Lord is still working within me. He's still working within me. Tamara is still Tamara. And so you're going to get who I am, okay? And Lord, if I have to come back and say, Jesus, forgive me, I'm going to have to do that. But, sometimes I can catch myself and be like, they ain't even first word to share. Why? I mean, they on this thing. Because, good and well, if they wasn't on this thing, they wouldn't be acting all like a warrior. Okay, they're gonna be back down, ain't gonna say nothing, so let them have their little space. Okay, because this is me, this is who I am. I'm real. I keep it 1,000 with you. And one thing I hate is a liar. Okay, I hate a liar, and I don't like to be lied to. I don't like to be lied to. Don't like to be lied on, and I'm not going to be purposely lying to or about or on anybody else. Me personally, before I open my mouth and say something, I do a lot of research because I like to make sure I'm saying what I'm saying is the truth. And if God knows if I say something that ain't right, I'm gonna come back and say, you know something, I said this, and let me go ahead and correct myself. Let me say this because I was misled about that. Just like I can expose, I can also take accountability and say, I was wrong. Right? So back on the niches, right? Because by now, your girl can kind of drift off to something else. All right. Back on the niches. You have to look at your platform and see what is working for your platform. Now, what I have noticed about my platform is a lot of people like me to talk about stuff that's trending or my input on stuff that I call out sometimes. And although if I take an interest to it, if I want to, I will do that. Stuff like that is like real draining. So you'll see that I'll speak on it and then I'll fall back, but maybe later come back and say something about it or whatever. Because to me, a lot of negativity, regardless if you're informing people or not, can really be draining towards a person's soul. And with me, because like I said, I like to stay on the positive side. I like to stay on the fun side because life itself will burden you down. You don't need unnecessary negativity to do it in either word, more worse or better than what you're catching hell with in your own life or your family's life or something like that. You don't need that. So I don't like to constantly keep talking about negative stuff. So in the niche of negativity, that just ain't me. So I'm hoping, that I will find my core people that like to talk about life, like to talk about life experiences, like to put stuff out there to help the next generation that's coming behind us. Not just the next generation, but even our generations as well. Because somebody made a very good comment on my thing. If everybody that was old was wise, the world would be a better place. Lord knows that is a 1,000% true. Because everybody that is old don't necessarily mean that they're wise. You got some old fools. That's what I told you. There's some old fools around here. So you are absolutely right. Just you can't necessarily go off of a person's age. Just because they're older, they're wiser. No, you better listen to what they're telling you and whether or not that whatever they're saying to you has some type of substance and not just being satisfied by foolishness that's within yourself. That's why self-reflection is so important when doing stuff such as the YouTube platform and getting on here and talking, you better really know who you are before you step on something like this. Because if you don't, you will be altered and you will be changed. Why? Because money change people. Correction. Let me correct myself. Money show people who they really are. Let me hurry up and change that. Money shows people who you really are. And when people tend to get money, they expose themselves to who they really were. Like, we all unheard it. If you was a giver before money, you're going to be an even bigger giver when you get it. Well, if you was a narcissistic person, you're going to be an even bigger narcissistic person once you get it. It amplifies who that person is truly deep down inside. So money don't change people. It just shows people who you really are, right? And so that's a prayer I always said, because I done had money. I've had money. I've not had money. Okay. I done been in both spectrums, of that. Now I ain't never had billions. No, I never had that, but I would like to think that if that would have ever came into my life, then I will be the same person that I am now. I would just be an even better person than I am now. I will continue to grow. I will continue to learn. Whenever we feel like we done got so big that we can't learn from others, then guess what? You, my friend, have a big problem. You can learn from everybody, from a homeless man out on the street to a businessman with multiple businesses. Because in the end, no matter what journey that we're on this thing that we call life, we all gonna take that same path and finally close our eyes, and it's gonna be over and done with. And when that time happens, ain't nobody gonna be thinking about no money or riches or anything like that. The only thing you're gonna be thinking about is your family and wanting to make sure your family's okay and wishing you had just a little bit more time with your family. Or maybe you could experience things just a little bit more. That's the only thing you're gonna be worried about, If you're not worried about the ultimate thing, that's where your soul gonna be in the end, because that's what you really need to be worried about. You really need to be worried about that soul, right? For all eternity. That's what you need to be worried about, right? But when we're talking about just life itself, just life in general, we need to be more compassionate with others, right? We need to be more supportive. As long as the people are doing right. I'm never telling anybody to be supportive for somebody that's doing wrong. And even if they're doing wrong, after you show what they're doing wrong, pray for that person. Ain't nothing wrong with you praying for somebody that done did wrong, right? Because at some point, something you done did probably offended somebody or was wrong to somebody else, right? So always still continue to pray for or wish well for anybody. And that's my take on things. I don't care if what you're doing is wrong. I wish you well. I just wish that you don't benefit off the hearts of others if you're not going to do right. That's the only thing I wish, right? So in this niche or niches or whatever y'all want to call this goddamn thing, right? In the niche world of YouTube, find out what it is that you like to do. Figure out where you are, where you fit into this, right? Sometimes you have to divert out from whatever that niche is in order to gain that audience, right? But I'm not finna sell you to sell your soul or sell yourself and lose yourself up in this just to gain views. No, remain who you are. Remain the person that brought you here, and don't let nobody tear you down, because that's what this world loves to do. People love to tear down so that that person can't grow or can't be what they want to be, right? And all my exposing, that's why I said I could tell when people ain't look at the whole video. And all my exposing on any of my channels, you will all, on anything I'm talking about, you will always hear me being positive at some point in the video and saying, if you do this, hey, you're good at that. I got to give it to you. I'm not taking that away from you. I'm just saying do right if something's wrong, right? I'm not trying to tear you down. I'm not trying to not wish you well. I wish you well. I wish all of us can prosper. But the thing is, we can't sell a pipe dream to everybody. We got to be realistic with this thing. Not everybody gonna make it. Not everybody gonna be successful in doing this. No matter how much support we offer one another, because it's an individual thing. It's for that person who is doing it to continue to do what they need to do in order to be successful, right? You can't do it one day or 1 week and then stop the next. You can't do it 1 month and then stop the next. You can't do it for a couple of months and burn yourself out. That's why that's why they're telling you not to, even though throwing a lot of videos out there will probably gain you traction. But if you're always throwing a bunch of videos out there and you can't maintain that, you're going to burn yourself out, and you're going to also burn your channel out. Especially if there's nothing in your channel that's offering value to people other than entertainment. That's why I said in the previous video, if all you're seeking is entertainment, then entertainment is all you're going to get. All right? So, yeah. So let's gear into our niches, but also watch your analytics on your channel to see what works for you. And then my suggestion is blend that mug up. Blend it up. Throw a little bit of this. Throw a little bit of that, because everything is evolving, including YouTube. YouTube is evolving too. That's why what worked in the past ain't working today, right? That's why information that you're learning back then is not helping you right now. That's why it's best that you get on to somebody that you can see that is growing and are moving, because guess what? As long as you're doing it for yourself too, you're going to grow and move right along with them. Right? That's what you need, because one thing about life and success especially, by the time that person or that group of people done made it, you are already behind. And you're going to forever be catching up until you either surpass or they fall off. That's why you can't really be worried about other people's success. You can wish them well and bless them, but don't be so in tune on somebody else that it affects you one way or the other. Whether it's, I am so in tune with that person that person motivated me, and oh my God, they fell off and now I'm not motivated no more and I can't do this, or I let this person get in my head and make me do this, and I know common sense would have told me don't do it, right? That's giving a person too much. That's just, come on now, that is doing too much, right? We all need to figure out what we want. There's a video I got, is why your why is so important. Go check out that video. Look at the video, okay? Now, like I said before, I know what's going on here with my channel, right? A lot of people probably looking at views and subscriptions. Okay, well, you're here with me now. So my views are a little low. My subscriptions are a little low, right? In a couple of months, my subscriptions and my views could have blew up. And guess what people are going to do? They're going to try to go back and look at what I was trying to tell them, right? But this is the time to look and listen to what people are telling you now so that you can move forward with them. Because what most people do is they get information that will help you progress, and they hold on to that information until they make it. So that way they could leverage that information to you, and either you're going to pay for it or you're going to help them to make it, right? And I think, that's a business strategy. Maybe that's business. People do that in business, right? But business these days are not like business back in the day. There's a new face of business, right? There's a new face of people. There are people that are wanting to take control of where they want their life to be, not where they're waiting for somebody to tell them, oh, you're fired, or they're waiting for a situation, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. People are trying to take control of their life's outcome. Well, the same thing could happen. Life can still happen, right? But at least you put the effort. And there's one thing about success that I've learned. Most people that are successful didn't just instantly become successful. Most people failed their way to success. But listen what I said. They failed their way to success. That means every time they failed, they got back up and they kept moving. They kept going. They kept going. They kept going. You got to be in this thing to win this thing. All right? So, figure out what your niche is going to be. Also, figure out who you are in this thing. Figure out what works for your channel and intertwine them all. Because keep watching, y'all gonna see. And y'all gonna say that woman trying to tell us, but we was too stubborn, or we was too blinded, or we didn't want to listen because she didn't have a life. But that's because y'all were doing it with me when I was doing it. That's why. You know? And others like me, not just me, others like me. You're doing it with them. Like I said in a video a while back, like I've been through a lot of things in my life. And I did not have this platform when I was going through those things, you know. Life experiences, when you learn from them, make you wise. And a lot of things that I had to go through has now positioned me into the person that I am. But I have said, I wish I would have had something like this, you know, so people could have came along with me and saw it, right? But now is the time. Now. God just gave it to me in a different way. Right? God just gave it to me in a different way. And I'm meeting people. It's funny about that. You know, I'm meeting people in this journey now who, when I talk to them or I hear their story, I see myself when I was back then, when I was going through what I was going through. And I can now offer advice, or I can offer something that could help them, or something I could say because of what I went through. Let's always remember this. You ain't going through what you're going through because of you. You're going through what you're going through for God can use you for somebody else. Right? And whoever went through what they went through before you and was supposed to get it to you, maybe they did, or maybe they failed. But God still saw it in you to allow you to go through it in order to help someone else. You got to see the bigger picture, people. Stop being so narrow-minded. All right, y'all jump on here, figure out what niche y'all gonna fall into. And I know I kind of went into a whole bunch of different little areas with this niche, but hey, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Dibble and dabble, intertwine, right? Intertwine a lot of stuff in order to be successful in what you're doing. But as always, be your brothers and your sisters keepers. Keep God first. And as always, toodles.